Alright guys, so we're going to be talking about Season 9 for Fortnite, what is going to be happening. The basis of these videos when we talk about Season 9 is more going to be about the event that brings us from Season 8 into Season 9, what the Season 9 theme is, and obviously the most important thing is the leaks and the evidence we have in the map that leads us to believe that these certain things that we'll be talking about will happen within Season 9. So the difference here now is that we talked about so much stuff happening with Season 8's beginning event back in Season 7 that a lot of that different stuff we talked about that didn't happen then may actually happen now. If you guys don't remember, within Season 7 when we were hyping up Season 8, we were looking at the code, we were looking at what we saw in the Battle Pass, how that was going to tease to the future, and we were looking at what we saw on the map. There are so many different pointers as to what could happen. Obviously, if you guys don't remember, we had different natural disasters. We had evidence of natural disasters of every kind, like hurricanes, tornadoes. Obviously the volcano erupted, that was the one that actually happened. The earthquakes were already happening in the game, but we also had possible events of this huge kraken in the game that would come and destroy everything. The potential for some sort of sea monster to spawn out of nowhere and just cause some sort of damage to the map. Like, those were all in the talks for Season 8, but now a lot of that stuff is probably going to be happening for Season 9. And I feel like Season 9's main beginning event is going to be a continuation of what occurred within Season 8 to some extent. So within this video, I want to show you guys a bunch of the underlying factors and pointers we're seeing in the game right now that hint at some sort of Kraken boss actually being a part of Season 9. And you know, again, we're going to be doing Season 9 videos looking at different elements of the leaks and different elements of the maps and the updates and the battle passes and the skins they release, because you guys know Fortnite, they all do this deliberately and they tease tons of stuff several weeks and months in advance. So it's very important to look at all this stuff to figure out where this storyline and where this map is heading to the future. And I know there's different stuff we can talk about within Season 9. This video specifically, I want to talk about the Kraken, but just for future videos, if you guys want to, know what's going to happen, we'll be talking about obviously the ice biome and how that's going to affect the map, how the volcano erupting is going to affect the map. There's so many different things that are going to be happening within this game, but I want to focus in right now on the Kraken slash, sea monster possibility here. So as of now, there's a lot of imagery of just like sea monsters and krakens and just different types of that picture found on the map. They're found on different walls and little paintings. The main one here I'm going to show you guys is obviously Lazy Lagoon, is a huge kraken on the flag, on the main flag of the ship, which is obviously pretty cool, but that's pretty telling as to what the deal is there. Now, something else, we're going to be looking at this treasure map here, and if you look closely, there's actually some sort of kraken or squid sea monster type thing. I'm just gonna go with kraken for now, but again, it could be anything along the lines of that. He's obviously poking out, his back end is to the left, and then he's poking out to the right side of that, and that's pretty much showing that he's like lurking the waters of the map, surrounding the map right now, which is very interesting because obviously that's telling as to the end of Season 8. This kraken comes out from outside of the map and appears, and then just comes and destroys everything, or destroys a certain part of the map, or comes in, causes this huge tidal wave of water, and because it plops down, and then there's just like a kraken sitting there on the map, and that's like a new point of interest. Maybe it's gonna jump in, and I know I'm getting a little crazy here, but it's gonna jump in and clog the volcano. Who knows? The point is, there is some sort of kraken surrounding and lurking around this Fortnite map based on this treasure map here. So it's obviously very interesting. Here are two pictures of what this kraken could look like. The first one here is a bit more of a realistic, mythical based picture. Obviously, Fortnite itself, it's not going to look exactly like this. You have to imagine this in a Fortnite graphics realm. And then here's another one, more of a cartoony look. I'd expect it to look more like this. Well, this actually looks like a weird thing, but maybe a bit more red in the game, like this huge, just giant red squid. However you could imagine that. that's obviously what it would look like within the game. I don't know if they're gonna go too realistic, and how realistic they're gonna go, it doesn't really matter. It's Fortnite, and I don't think they're worried about that anyway. They're just worried about creating something huge and menacing and cool looking, and obviously they want some bright colors to some extent, and we'll see again how exactly that looks when we see this, or if we see this happen in the game. So those are a bunch of the pointers that we're seeing on the map. Obviously, we have different things that may hint towards the Kraken being watched, and different things on the map that hint towards like, oh, we're in trouble, this thing is coming. One thing right now which people are saying, first let's talk about this here. This was actually found on the beach, SOS. This is very interesting. This could, again, a lot of these things that we look at in the map could just be parts of the map that just fit with the theme. So SOS, something you may commonly see on a beach, and it's like this theme, like, oh, we're stuck on this stranded island, blah blah blah. Like you guys understand that, and SOS is just like, oh, we need help. But this could also be something that they're warning us with, and they're saying, oh, we're in trouble, something is gonna happen. SOS, we're stranded here, this Kraken is coming. Again, it's not like we see SOS in the middle of the map, we see it on the beach near the water, so that's definitely a better sign to look at. It's not like we see SOS right in the middle of Dusty Divot in the bottom pit. So if it was there, then I probably wouldn't be saying anything here now. But again, it is on the beach where it should be, but again, it could be hinting at this Kraken coming. It's an imminent event. People are warning us, and there's probably going to be other indicators around the map that pop up that are sort of, very mild, slight warning signs as to something is coming, beware. And we'll see that probably a bit more prevalent as the weeks continue. And as the weeks continue, usually these teasers start off vague. Fortnite, they start these vague teasers, and then they get more direct as to what they're teasing. So at the beginning of, season 7, we had these very little themes of, maybe an earthquake's gonna happen, maybe this is gonna happen, maybe that's gonna happen, and the leaks helped us out too. The leaks, didn't really say what was gonna happen, and we weren't even so sure that a volcano was gonna be spawned out of it. But as the weeks continued, they teased it more and more directly. They specifically teased the earthquakes by actually cracking them in the map, and actually having the earthquakes and the volcano by actually adding stuff that hinted at, oh, we are gonna get a volcano. Like, people picked up on it from what they were adding to the updates right before season 8 released. That's gonna be the same thing here. Right now we're starting off with just a simple SOS, but as we move on, we're gonna have probably more hints at, like, oh, a sign's gonna pop up with a Kraken on it, and it's gonna be some weird thing that's like, oh, beware of the Kraken or something. That'd be a pretty good teaser as to what could be happening within the game. That should be very soon. But right now, we're pretty early in the season, so it's going to be hard to see that stuff. Another thing here people have been saying are the helicopters. Helicopters, this is the one recently. It's near Viking Village, I think, and it's been around the map, and it's been pretty much at most of the major high top sort of mountain locations on Fortnite. And apparently it's been looking at the ship, and it's been looking at the volcano, and it's been sort of pointed and directed at this area for all of these locations. Every time it goes to a certain location, it's sort of directed at that area, and there's a telescope out there that's pointed at those areas. And I mean, I think we don't need the helicopters to know that that top area is going to be of interest. Like, if you want to know anything about what's going to happen throughout season 8 that brings us into season 9, it's going to be something that's occurring up at the top of the map. Now, I do have separate, it's not even a theory. I mean, we know this icy biome is going to melt the bottom left corner of the map. So that is another point of interest, that we just know something's going to happen there for the summer, for season 9, that's going to melt. That's a different video, though. This video is about the Kraken. If you want to look at two main areas, I guess, the bottom left, the icy biome, the snowy biome, and then the sort of top right, Lazy Lagoon and the volcano area. Those two, something is going to happen there. And I guess if the Kraken is going to come to the map and cause some havoc and cause some damage, it's probably going to enter, and that event is gonna pretty much take place in that portion of the map. Definitely makes sense. All of the indicators right now are for that top portion of the map. And if the helicopter is circling around the map and pretty much focused and fixated on that area, obviously, you know, something is going to happen. They're expecting something to happen. They're analyzing the situation, or they know something's going to happen, so they're going to be ready to attack or help. I mean, we don't know if the helicopter is for good, if it's just, you know, filming what's going to happen, if it's, you know, some sort of agent of the Kraken. Like, you know, we don't really know if it's for good or evil, but we do know that it's fixated around that area. So again, right now, that's all we know, and we're early on, so it's hard to really bring these together and try to get full-on understandings of like what exactly is going to happen here. But we definitely have some clues here based on some of the leaks from last season, and then also based on some of the stuff that was added within this season, that, you know, Kraken is very possible, especially bringing us into Season 9, and whatever that has to do with Season 9, again, way too early to tell, but it's very possible that it will play some role in this next season. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, leave a comment below Kraken if you watched the whole video. It's greatly appreciated. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.